Happy November, beautiful people. Happy November. I am Macy LaShawn Sledge. For those of you who are unfamiliar with me and who I am in this channel, I would like to just thank you for showing up to the Mindful Living Solutions platform and for sharing in this space with me. It's always a privilege and an honor to be able to just show up for myself first and foremost, because that's why I am here. It's because I decided to show up for myself, for my own healing, for my own transcendence and transformation. And it's because I choose and decide to show up every day for myself. And some days look better than others, but I'm becoming more and more consistent in that. And I've always known that and it's all of our responsibility, right? As we're showing up for ourselves, to show up for and encourage other people. And so that's why I'm here. That's what I do here on this platform, is I show up to just encourage and empower those who tune in with me. And so I'm grateful that you're here. I'm appreciative for you, for your spirit, for your willingness to receive what it is that God has in store for you through this meditation. I pray and speak blessings over you. And again, I just give thanks for you showing up. So for those of you who are new, I like to share weekly affirmations. I'm referring to them now as weekly declarations and daily journaling prompts to my social media platforms. And so something that I'm going to be incorporating I say something that I'm going to be incorporating, but it's something that I was already doing. So every week, at the beginning of the year, I had started what I referred to as affirmation meditations, and I was posting them once a week. And so I'm going to start bringing them back. And so it's just like, I've gained a little bit of clarity on what that's supposed to look like. And so it's like, okay, you're sharing weekly affirmations, right? And then I was coming up with an affirmation for the affirmation meditation during the week. And so now that I've gained some clarity, my spirit is just like, okay, you know that you're going to be sharing a weekly declaration each week. And so take that and create your affirmation or declaration meditation around that. And so that's what I'm doing. And that's something that I'll be sharing on Sundays, to help us start out the new week. And so, yeah, I hope that you will enjoy this. If this is your first time, if, this isn't your first time and you've been, just kind of tagging along for the ride and tuning in, for the things that I've been sharing, I appreciate you for being here. If this meditation resonates with you, make sure that you like the video, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and also make sure that you share the love with other people, right? Because that's what I'm doing here, is sharing the love with you. And so if it resonates and it speaks to you, make sure that you share that with, your friends, your family, whomever you want to. This is also something that you can come back to throughout the week. Whenever you feel led, if it's something that you need to revisit, or if it's something that you need to revisit. So I'm going to go ahead and start. The affirmation for this week that I'll be sharing on the Mindful Living Solutions platform is, I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. So just take a minute to sit with that affirmation, to say it out loud to yourself once or twice, and maybe even close your eyes and say it out loud to yourself once or twice, and just maybe even take a couple of deep breaths to just ground yourself into those words, to feel into those words. I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. Just noticing, taking note of how you feel as you speak those words. Maybe even taking your right hand and placing it on your heart and repeating it out loud again. I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. And then you can open your eyes back up. And so what we're going to do for this meditation is, so we're going to do some deep breathing first. And then we're going to repeat the affirmation just a few times. And then we're going to move into a tapping meditation. And so if you're unfamiliar with tapping, it's a type of energy healing technique that's similar to acupuncture or acupressure, except for we're not using any needles, of course, because you're there, I'm here. Instead, we're going to be using our hands. And so we'll use our hands to tap in certain points on the body as we're speaking affirmations, and I will lead us through that. And then at the end, we'll come back and we'll repeat the weekly declaration again. And then we'll end with some more breathing. So we'll start with breathing, we'll repeat the affirmation, we'll go into tapping, we'll repeat the affirmation again, and then we'll end with breathing. Okay. And so in the description, if you've already watched and you haven't, or if you've already started watching and you haven't read the description, the affirmations that I'm using are in the description, and I like to put them in the description so that you can read them before you start the meditation, so I don't have to repeat them a lot of times, and it doesn't take away from, moving along with the meditation. So make sure that you read the description if you haven't yet, just so you can kind of familiarize yourself with the affirmations that we're repeating as we're tapping, because they are a little lengthy. Okay, so wherever you are, you should be already seated, and comfortable in your space. This is your meditation. This is your moment of allowing God to just move through you and speak to you. And so just remember that as we're moving along, if you need to pause, if you need to stretch, if you need to take a deep breath inside out through your mouth, follow your lead. I'm here guiding, sharing, but follow your lead because this is your space, okay? All right, so go ahead and close your eyes and place your right hand on your heart. And we're going to take a few deep breaths in and out, in through our nose and out through our mouth. And as we're inhaling, we'll imagine that we're inhaling our breath up into our heart. And then as we're exhaling, we'll imagine that we're sending that breath down through our heart. So you can maybe even picture like a tree, and you can see the wind blowing through the leaves of the tree as you're inhaling. And then as you're exhaling, maybe you see the leaves falling off the tree. Or as you're inhaling, you can see the waves of the ocean coming up to the shore. And then as you're exhaling, you can imagine that the waves are receding back into the ocean, away from the shore. So just playing around with your breath, playing around with your vision, just visualizing what you want as you're breathing, okay? So go ahead and place that right hand on your heart. And you're going to go ahead and take a deep breath in through your nose. And then you'll exhale, sending that breath down through your heart. You can have your eyes opened or closed, whichever feels best for you. Inhale through your nose. And then exhale out through your mouth. Inhale through your nose, sending that breath up into your heart, allowing your breath to go as deep as your body will allow, and then exhaling out through your mouth. So as you're inhaling, make sure that you are allowing your breath to grow deeper with every inhale, but also following the lead of your body. So if you inhale and your body says, this is where we stop, then stop and exhale. And then with every inhale, just allow your breath to grow deeper. So inhale through your nose and exhale. Allowing yourself to relax into this moment, into this space. Inhale through your nose. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale through your nose. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Take note of how you feel, of your energy, of your breath, of your body. Take 2 gentle, deep breaths in and out through your nose. Then you'll release your hand. And if your eyes are closed, you can open your eyes. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So we're going to repeat the affirmation just a few times. I will just follow the lead of my spirit on that. So we'll see how many times. But we're going to connect with the affirmation, and you can, if you want to close your eyes as we go along with repeating it, that you can, if that's what feels comfortable for you. If not, if you want to leave them open, then that's fine. You may be looking at the video and my eyes may be closed. That's how I like to flow. So again, the weekly declaration for November 1st through November 6th is, I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. Okay. So you can have your hands on the ground next to you. If you're sitting on the floor, you can have them on the ground next to you, just to help with grounding into what it is that you're saying. If you want to have your palms facing up in front of you, like I have this table in front of me, so I may rest my hands here, or I may rest them down on my knees with my palms facing up, so as to just signify like receiving these words, receiving the feelings that these words are invoking within me, within you. So whatever is comfortable, this is your moment, your space. So just go ahead and do that. Place your hands wherever is most comfortable. If you want to have your hands on your heart, that's fine too. All right. I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. Make sure you're breathing in between, and as you're repeating, I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. 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 And as you're repeating the affirmation, also maybe take note of where your body may be offering some resistance as you're repeating these words. Are you feeling any resistance in your gut or maybe even in your throat as you're repeating the words? In your heart space, in your mind, just notice where you may be feeling some resistance. And if you do feel it, take a deep breath in and then exhale it out through your mouth and just start repeating the affirmation again. We're going to repeat it 3 more times and then we'll move on. I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. And if your eyes are closed, go ahead and open your eyes. I'm going to open my, it's just a little bit. I'll get some light. All right. So we're going to move into the tapping, and you already read the first affirmation for this first round. Well, you've read the affirmations in the description. And so for this first round of tapping, so there's a long affirmation and then there's a short affirmation. And so the long affirmation for this first round says, even though I have carried around thoughts of lack and limitation, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I have carried around thoughts of lack and limitation, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. And then the shorter version of that is carried around thoughts of lack and limitation. Carried around thoughts of lack and limitation. So just a little bit about tapping. As we're going throughout, you may find yourself getting a little bit gassy, a little bit lightheaded. Your stomach may start making some noises. All of that is absolutely normal. It's just that energy within your body beginning to move around and restore itself, and it's your body restoring balance within your internal systems. And so if you fart or burp as we're going throughout, that means it's working. All right, so tapping. We're going to start at the karate chop point, which is this area right here on the side of your hand. Hiya. So this is referred to as the karate chop point, and you can use either hand. And in fact, I would even say, if use your opposite, your non-dominant hand to tap. So if you're right-handed, use your left hand to tap on your right hand. So karate chop point in this area, and at each spot that we tap, you're going to feel a little bit of like sensitivity, and that's where you want to tap. So you're going to feel like, and immediately when you tap, you'll begin to like feel that energy moving around. But it's like a soft spot. So you know you have a soft spot on the top of your head. Well, at each of these points where we're going to be tapping, you also have like a soft spot or a sensitive spot, and that's where you're going to tap. So we're going to start at the karate chop point, which is right here on the side of our hands. So go ahead and find that point. Yeah. And then we're going to move to the top of our head. So at the karate chop point, we'll say the long affirmation, and then we'll go to the top of our head where we'll say the short affirmation, and then we'll move to our eyebrow point. So right in there, your eyebrow point. And again, at each spot, you'll just feel around in the area for that sensitive spot. And then you'll go to your outer eye. And then you'll go underneath your nose, and then your chin, And then you'll go, there's this U shape right here in your collarbone, and you'll just kind of find right underneath in that area, you'll feel, and you'll feel it. When you find it, you'll know. And then we'll go to the underarm from the collarbone. Okay. And it's about 3 inches down from your underarm, about right in this area. And you'll tap. So at each of those points, we'll say the shorter version of the affirmation. Okay. All right. So we're starting at the karate chop point. So go ahead and start tapping at that point. And if you don't want to say the affirmation out loud, that is absolutely fine. You can just listen to me repeating the affirmation. And so we'll say the long version here a few times. And then at all the other points, we'll say the shorter version one time. Okay. All right. So even though I have carried around thoughts of lack and limitation, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I have carried around thoughts of lack and limitation, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I have carried around thoughts of lack and limitation, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I've carried around thoughts of lack and limitation, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. So we'll repeat that one more time. Even though I have carried around thoughts of lack and limitation, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. So now we'll move to the top of your head, and you'll find that spot, and you'll know. And when you're tapping, you'll keep a pretty good rhythm, not too fast, not too slow. And then we'll repeat, carried around thoughts of lack and limitation. And then we'll move to that eyebrow point, and I'll give you a second to find that spot. And you'll repeat, carried around thoughts of lack and limitation. And then you'll move to your outer eye, and you'll repeat, carried around thoughts of lack and limitation. And then you'll move underneath your nose and repeat, carried around thoughts of lack and limitation. Then you'll move to your chin and repeat, carried around thoughts of lack and limitation. And then find that spot right underneath your collarbone. I always love when I find it. And we'll repeat, carried around thoughts of lack and limitation. And then you'll move to your underarm, find that spot. You don't necessarily have to put your arm above your head, and then we'll repeat, carried around thoughts of lack and limitation. And then you'll just lower your hands down. And you'll notice how you feel. And we'll take 3 deep breaths in and out through our nose. So in through your nose and out through your nose. Allowing yourself to relax in through your nose and out through your nose. And one more time, in through your nose and out through your nose. And so for this last round of tapping, go ahead and tap with your dominant hand. So if you were tapping with your left hand before and you're right-handed, you'll tap with your right hand and the other way around. So we're going to tap in all the same spots, again, starting at the karate chop point. And so the long affirmation for this one is, what I know is that the universe is always conspiring on my behalf and supplying all of my needs. What I know is that the universe, you can say God, whatever word fits best for you in your situation. What I know is that the universe is always conspiring on my behalf and supplying all of my needs. And if you are familiar with The Alchemist, then you may recognize that quote. If you have not read The Alchemist, then I would recommend that you read that book. It's a really great fiction novel that is full of universal truths and inspiration. And so I would read that if you haven't. It's called The Alchemist. And so that's where that comes from. There's a line in the book that says, the universe is always conspiring on our behalf. And that may be a little bit off, but that's the gist of it. And so that's where that comes from. And then, okay, and so then the short version of this affirmation will be supplying all of my needs. So at all the other points, we'll repeat the short affirmation. At the karate chop point, we'll repeat the long affirmation. So go ahead and find that karate chop point. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And then exhale it out through your mouth. And we'll begin. What I know is that the universe is always conspiring on my behalf and supplying all of my needs. What I know is that the universe is always conspiring on my behalf and supplying all of my needs. What I know is that the universe is always conspiring on my behalf and supplying all of my needs. What I know is that the universe is always conspiring on my behalf and supplying all of my needs. And we'll say that 2 more times. What I know is that the universe is always conspiring on my behalf and supplying all of my needs. What I know is that the universe is always conspiring on my behalf and supplying all of my needs. So then we'll move to the top of the head, and you'll find that point, and you'll repeat, supplying all of my needs. And then we'll move to that eyebrow point. I'll give you a second to find it. And we'll repeat, supplying all of my needs. Then we'll move to the outer eye and repeat, supplying all of my needs. Then we'll move, underneath the nose. And repeat, supplying all of my needs. And then to your chin, and repeat, supplying all of my needs. And then you'll move to your collarbone area. Find that spot. And repeat, supplying all of my needs. And then to your underarm, finding that point. You'll know when you do. And when you're ready, you'll repeat, supplying all of my needs. And then you'll release your hand. Again, we'll take 3 deep breaths in and out through our nose. So inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And if your eyes are closed, go ahead and open your eyes. And again, you'll take your right hand to your heart, and we're going to repeat the weekly declaration, and then we'll end with a few breaths and we'll be done. Okay, so eyes open or closed, whatever feels best for you, because I feel like my eyes are going to drift off. Okay, so the affirmation: I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation, and we'll repeat that a few times together. I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. You can even say this week, or in November, or in this lifetime, I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. In this lifetime, I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. In this lifetime, I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. In this lifetime, I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. In this lifetime, I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. In this lifetime, I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. In this lifetime, I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. In this lifetime, I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. We'll say it 2 more times. In this lifetime, I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. In this lifetime, I have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. And you can release your hand, and we're just going to end with 3 deep breaths in through our nose, and we're going to sigh it out very powerfully through our mouth. So inhale, and as you inhale, squeeze your shoulders up to your ears. So inhale, squeezing your shoulders up to your ears. Squeezing everything together, holding your breath. And then sigh it out. Release your shoulders down. Inhale through your nose, squeezing your shoulders up. Holding your breath. And then sighing it out through your mouth. And inhaling through your nose. Squeezing your shoulders up to your ears. And sighing it out through your mouth. In this lifetime, you have transcended, we have transcended thoughts of lack and limitation. We know and we believe and we trust that God is always conspiring on our behalf. We know and we believe that and trust that God is supplying every single one of our needs. We know that all of our needs are being met. We know that we are being charged with the responsibility to live that out in every moment, to be a conduit, to be a vessel through which that magic, that power is able to flow through us. We are living witnesses. In every moment, we are to serve as living witnesses to the greatness and glory of God. We are to allow that greatness and glory, the goodness and glory of God to flow through us in every single moment. We are being charged with that responsibility. God this week is going to provide us with opportunities and to hold us accountable to that responsibility. And so I am grateful and so glad that you shared in this space with me. I appreciate it so much. I'm praying for you as you go throughout the week, as I'm praying for myself and honoring and uplifting and encouraging and empowering myself. If you need to come back to this meditation at any point in time, please do. Make sure also that you subscribe to the channel if you like the video, and if it resonated with you, make sure that you press the like button. And like I said before, if it resonated with you, make sure that you share with the people that you know and love. I would also say that if you have not followed Mindful Living Solutions on social media, make sure you do that. Instagram, Facebook, make sure you follow those pages so that you can participate in what's going on over there. Each day we have daily writing prompts that go along with the weekly declaration statement. And so, yeah, so you can tune in for that. If you would like to, I'm trying to think, what else am I supposed to say? If you would like to receive a one-on-one session with me, I'm available for tapping meditations, guided meditations, visualization meditations, guided breath work, whatever it is that you are needing. You can go on my website and look at my services, and you can schedule a session. Right now, all of my sessions, well, I say all of them, but like the guided meditations, I also do tarot readings, the guided breath work, I only offer 30-minute sessions, and right now they're only $25. So if you feel like you want to book a session, they're 30 minutes, they're $25. That's a really great price for what it is that I'm sharing, and so go ahead and go book a session. And then if you want to get more into the tapping, I offer a 60-minute tapping meditation for $45. Yes, is that right? Yes, $45. So go ahead and head over to my website. You can read some more about me. You can read some more about Mindful Living Solutions and get to know what's going on over there. I'm really beginning to just become more consistent in my sharing and in my showing up, because I know that this is what I want to do. I'm no longer like, oh, afraid of it. I'm like, let's go, Macy. This is your calling. This is what you're being called to. Honor it, live it, thrive in it. And so again, I just appreciate you for being here with me. Many of you have encouraged me and have stood with me and have just spoken life into me as I'm, speaking life into myself and speaking life into, whoever shows up with me. And so I really appreciate that so much. But have a great week. I look forward to connecting and sharing in space with you all this week as we work through the journaling prompts and the weekly declaration. So talk to you later.